Right. Looking like Genesis chapter 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children. You see that lots in the scripture. A lot of times when God has to supernaturally open up the womb. And it's usually in the line of Jesus a lot of times. Because it's all God. It's for his glory. It says, and she had a maid, a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. Sarai says unto Abram, behold now, the Lord has restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. I don't like the way this is going, man. You throw another fly in the ointment, it makes a mess. And Abram, he didn't take her and say, no, Sarai, honey, it's just you and you only. Very next sentence says, Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. So he was up for it, so to speak. Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. So they make it all legal. We've seen another guy, I think one of Cain's bunch had multiple wives. I think Abram's probably the first godly guy to do it. It happened several times later on. His grandson Jacob, he'll have 4. David certainly had plenty, and certainly Solomon's the all-time reigning champ. He had 1,000. What you need 1,000 women for? Good night. He went in unto Hagar. It says she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. So Hagar gets pregnant, and all of a sudden she's kind of giving Sarah that look like, look at me, I was able to do what you weren't. Giving her the old stank eye, as it were. Sarah says unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I like that. That's a married man and woman, isn't it? It's her idea, but she blames him for it. And certainly Abram he could have resisted. Come on, he could have, but he did. I have given my maid into thy bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and you. Yeah. Abram's not getting in that mess. Watch what he does. Abram says unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleases you. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. So they get into it. Sarai says, I don't know what she says, but she gets mad and lays it on her. And Hagar don't like it, so she takes off. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, return unto thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. He says, I will. This is an angel of the Lord, so who you think that is? A lot of people think when you see the angel of the Lord, it was a kind of pre-incarnate Jesus, maybe. But he's going to multiply her seed too. Why? Because that's also Abram's seed. Remember how that's part of the promise. I will make you the father of many nations. We're going to see the main one's going to be Israel, but many, many nations. So there's that. And he says, the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and you shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all of his brethren. Now that's a good description, because this wild man will go on to produce, I guess, the second biggest religion going today is Islam. All these people that call Allah and Muhammad. That's where this all started. Thanks a lot, Abram. Anyway, he says, she called the name of the Lord that spoke unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that sees me? Wherefore the well was called Beer Lahairoi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. So 86 years old. But he's still got a ways to go before he receives the promise, doesn't he? And we'll see about that maybe next time. God bless you. See you then.